I think what he's saying is that the Green Bay Packers are forgetting how important guys like Brett Favre and all those legendary guys that came before him, all the coaches that he worked with, and etc. They're forgetting about him because he cares about his legacy. He cares about the history of the franchise, and we all know that they were thinking of replacing him, likely the next season, and he put a wrench in that schedule because of his MVP year last year. And so when he's talking about people and that history matters, and that it takes a lot of great people to build something, he's talking about himself in a way, and maybe Green Bay has disrespected that, and that's why he's so upset, or at least he's been. All this behind the scenes, behind the veil information is starting to leak out. It's because he thinks he's not being appreciated for the person that he's been for the Green Bay Packers for the entirety of his career. And he's not wrong in a sense, especially not immediately wrong. I think they've appreciated him significantly over the course of his career, making him one of the highest paid, if not at times the highest paid player in the game. But they're trying to cut him off, cut his legs out before he feels like he's done, and that's upsetting him. And I don't blame him. It's hard not to feel for him at this point.
Yeah, no, I understand that he would be, it would cut a little bit deep. My issue with Rodgers is that it's dragged on too long. We've gotten dribs and drabs of intel, second, third party kind of stuff.
I mean, I think he cares about how he's viewed and how his legacy is going to be viewed. And we all, as athletes, and especially those that play professionally and do it for a long time, you want to write your own script, and you want to be the one that goes out the way that you want to go out. Very few people get to do it. John Elway was one for sure, winning 2 Super Bowls and then bouncing. I guess Peyton could fall in that category as well, going up to Denver and winning that Super Bowl and then getting out. But very few players get a chance to just decide when it's over for them. And I think he believes that he deserves to decide when it's over for him in Green Bay, as opposed to being forced to go someplace else like so many others. Like really the majority of others before him have been forced to continue playing. And I guess he expected loyalty out of Green Bay, and instead he got a behind the scenes non-informed decision to draft his successor before he thought he was done. And I don't see. It's weird because some people will classify this as him being pissed off. I don't get that from him. I get that he's disappointed. I think that he had an expectation for what Green Bay was going to provide him for the entirety of his career. And without anyone giving him a heads up, they drafted his replacement and wanted to get rid of him in 2022 without telling him. And he's disappointed by it. He's not angry, because that doesn't sound angry to me. It sounds like he's focusing on what's important. That's the relationships that he believed that he had, and now he feels undercut by.
Well, whether he's disappointed or angry, the end result is, at least for a while, it seemed like he was going to really try to grease the skids to get out of there. So
yeah, that doesn't sound like that, though.
Well, I mean, that's where I was going to go. You see, the one thing about Rodgers that's a little disappointing here is that he's got to understand the business of football better. And
I think he does. But
it doesn't seem like he's been around 16 years, right?
Yeah.
Last year was an amazing season, rightfully won the MVP. The year before that, we know they won 13 games. A little bit more long. I know the numbers were good, but week to week, especially early, he was not dynamic. Okay, so given his age, given the contract, and given Green Bay's penchant historically for doing this to their quarterback, trying to move on, or maybe a year early before a year too late, which, by the way, good franchises actually do. I feel like Aaron's been a little naive to the process. Like, you're not immune to it. You're just not. You're 37. You're not immune to teams making harsh moves and decisions. It seems like he forgot that.
Yeah, but I think he believes he should be immune to it, especially with the Green Bay Packers. And
well, then that's arrogance.
Of course,
is it
arrogant.
Naive or is it arrogant?
I mean, he's been told really since the beginning of his career of starting, not the beginning of his tenure with the Green Bay Packers, because he sat for 3 years, but since he started playing, that he's the best quarterback skill wise that's we've ever seen. He may not win the most, obviously that belongs to Tom Brady of this generation, but he's just talented beyond anything that we've seen in so many years, and he believes that. And to be honest with you, he proved it last year that he is still that way. And I kind of forgive his first season under this new head coach, Matt LaFleur, because he didn't know what, I mean, we heard about it. There was bristling between him and his head coach, who was also their offensive coordinator, because of the stringent nature, the rigid nature of the play calls. And Aaron, we know, was used to changing things at the line of scrimmage, surveying, seeing what's happening. Oh, I know what you're trying to do for me, defense. I got something for you. All right, and changing things. And it was a delicate balance that they tried to work out. Not to mention, for the first time, maybe since Ryan Grant era, they had a run game that was dominant. And so his numbers are down because they didn't have to throw the ball as much as as I'm sure he would like to have as an elite quarterback in the league. And so 1 year of adjustment. By the way, you go 13-3 and get to the NFC Championship game, and then you win the MVP and also get to the NFC Championship game. I mean, I can't even look at last year and look at that as an indication that he might be going downhill. But I believe that's what Green Bay did, and he feels disrespected by that. And I understand it. I get it.
I do too, but it's a year after the fact now.
Yeah,
you got to let go, Aaron.
Yeah, but he's not.
Let me ask you this, T.
He's holding a grudge. He's holding a grudge.
Well, I don't know what he's that kind of guy. He's that kind of person.
Of course he is.
He's a little, I don't want to say petty, but certainly a bit passive aggressive. He's a grudge holder. He is. And I get it. We all hold grudges with certain things here. But at what point is there an expiration date on this? The sensitivity to them misreading the situation. They misread it.
Yep.
They've basically said as much. They've come out and said in the last 2 weeks, we messed up. We didn't need to draft the quarterback. He's still the man. So let me ask you this, T. Right before that camera went on, or the video, the Zoom last night with SportsCenter, he's an incredibly smart, cunning guy. Mm-hmm. What do you think in his mind? What was his mission? What was he trying to accomplish last night?
Honestly, he was trying to pay homage to his good friend, Kenny Mayne, whose last broadcast on ESPN was last night. And he knew that it would make news. He knew that it would be, I don't know, relevant for whatever reason, because he has not spoken about this in any depth in any way. And he wanted to be there for Kenny. They're boys, and that's why he came on. In fact, the start of the interview, he was talking about Kenny, and Kenny was like, "Nobody's listening to hear you to wax poetic about me. They want to hear about your situation." And so he spilled it as I think eloquently as he could. Mm-hmm. He kept talking about people, which means to me he's talking about relationships, and he believed that he had a good relationship with this organization from top to bottom. And instead, what he got was a backstabbing draft pick to replace him. And he was upset by it, and it motivated him. No matter how you want to look at it, it motivated him. If the GM went and made the wrong move, great, he admits it, but it motivated him. So in a way, it worked, because you got the best out of Aaron Rodgers at an age when most quarterbacks, save Tom Brady, are usually heading towards the exit. He played fantastic last year, and it gives you hope that he plays fantastic again in this year 38 season. So we'll see. But I thought he explained himself as well as he needed to.
Well, we're going to get to the Packers aspect, like what they could try to do. We'll do that next segment. But do you believe, based on what he projected, what he said, this 3 or 4 month roller coaster we've been on, you believe, and I know it's just a guess, but do you believe he's more amenable today than he was, say, a month ago, to, finding a way to bury the hatchet, reunite with the Packers, get this thing in the right direction, and come back and everybody's okay? Or do you think he's still not sold on that?
Look, this thing will end once it matters. once you get close to training camp and Aaron Rodgers has to focus on being Aaron Rodgers. Right now, he's focused on his fiance and what the next stages of his life are going to be if this relationship with Green Bay doesn't work out. Well, he's not the kind that's going to drag it into the season and make it about something other than winning. There's no doubt about that. He's not. I mean, he's petulant at times, but he's not that petulant.
He's not a self-sabotager.
Exactly.
No,
right.
I got you on that. He's the ultimate he wants to win. Because,
That's right.
Again, he used the word legacy himself, and
That's right.
that applies to him. And if he were to come out and either be half-hearted or, whatever, and they go 7-9 or 8-8 or even 9-7, and it's a first-round bump, I mean, and that will be used against him for sure. And in an odd way, it would almost, empower those who think that the Packers aren't fully wrong in this situation. So let's get to the Packers next year. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.